But we're hit with some bad news on Saturday night. That's when Brandon Woodruff had to leave the game early due to shoulder inflammation, landed him back on the 15-day IL. Same place he was for about 6 weeks earlier this season for the same issue. Manager Pat Murphy spoke about the loss of Woodruff after Saturday's game.
That's really unfortunate. He's a huge part of our organization, huge part of our team this year, huge part of the team last year. He just has an unbelievable presence and does whatever he can to help people, and he's a great pitcher.
He allowed just 2 hits and no runs in his first 2 starts back before the injury on Saturday night in his third start.
And 2 incredible outings to show you how close he is. And again, he'll be back for us.
Tonight it's going to be Shane Drohan on the mound. He's 3-2 with a 3.12 ERA. Cardinals go with Dustin May. He's 5-6 with a 4.80 ERA. Tonight, the first 5 games in clubs this week.
Everyone should feel confident about their path forward. Exact Sciences helps eradicate cancer by preventing it, detecting it earlier, and guiding personalized treatment. They continue to help patients and healthcare providers make timely, informed decisions before, during, and after a cancer diagnosis by partnering with the industry's best minds and top institutions to transform how to approach cancer. Known for Cologuard and Oncotype DX, allow Exact Sciences to help make a positive impact in your health path forward. Learn more at exactsciences.com.
Well, Seattle's the site of tonight's World Cup game between the U.S. and Belgium, with the winner going to the quarterfinals, a place the Americans haven't been since 2002. And the Bucks are going to face off against Sacramento tonight as Summer League play continues. With this Wisconsin Sports Zone Network update, I'm Zach Heil.
And this is going to be a start where if he's going to continue to get these guys out, assuming the velocity stays kind of where it is on his heaters, he's going to have to pitch with that off-speed stuff, and it's working.
And he struck him out. Another changeup. He did not throw a fastball, and here comes Chris Hook, and he's going to go out with Brad Epstein.
Your heart breaks for Brandon Woodruff. Obviously unable to throw a fastball here in this inning.
And he's going to come out of this game. Again, just monitoring the velocities for Brandon Woodruff over the course of his last couple of innings. It just was trending in a direction that you didn't want to see.
Your mind wonders and your heart breaks.
Yeah, proud of our guys. They battled to the very end. That's disappointing, but at the same time, more concerning just with where you're going down.
This is where Wisconsin gathers to talk sports. Packers, Brewers, Badgers, Bucks. The Wisco Sports Show is on the air. Now, here's your host, Grant Bills.
That's Pat Murphy after yesterday's game, I believe. I have a lot of audio from the weekend. Basically saying, yeah, very good series. Getting 2 of 3 in Arizona. Had to battle for 2 of those games. They were in the second Saturday's game. They came up just short. But the bigger takeaway or the bigger concern from the weekend, wins and losses aside, the injury to Brandon Woodruff, already back on the 15-day injured list. I think that's the most significant story or development from the weekend. So that's where we'll start. We don't have to stay there the whole show. I want to talk a little Bucks basketball as well. Giannis releasing a statement and a really nice video. Some chunks of an interview he did with Jim Paschke kind of on the way out, which I think are really interesting. We'll play that. The Bucks putting out a statement. John Horst with some comments as well. So we'll get to that. If you want to talk a little bit about the World Cup, I can do my best to facilitate a little conversation. Huge soccer game tonight. Match. Maybe the biggest. I don't know. I'm trying to not be hyperbolic, but probably the biggest United States soccer game of my lifetime, of the century. I don't know. It's got to be up there in U.S. soccer history. I'm not the expert on such things, but it's got to at least be up there. So that's on the table tonight as well. This is the Wisco Sports Show. My name is Grant Bills. Hope you had a great 4th of July weekend. You got to celebrate and do all the 4th of July things. Happy to be back. So, and excited to take your calls on all of that tonight. I will at the number. If you don't have it in your phone, just save it so you always have it. 608-321-1670. And the live stream is up and running on the Wisco Sports Zone app as well. That's the app for the whole network. So you can get all of our shows, all the live streams, Ebo in the morning, Bill in the afternoon, or Bill in the midday, 10 to 2, and then evening drive, 4 to 6. The show also streams on YouTube. Subscribe. I'd appreciate the Wisco Sports Show with Grant Bills, and on my Twitter as well, at Wisco Grant. Like I said, I want to start with Brandon Woodruff because I think it's the most, I think it's certainly the most significant development in Wisconsin sports this weekend. And we can talk more Brewers things, not just Brandon Woodruff. It's funny. I feel like the last couple of weeks we've began on Monday saying, hey, the Brewers just had a 4-2 week. Or, in the case of this week, they just had a 5-2 week. Now here's all the things that we're going to nitpick, or here's all the things that we're going to dive deeper into. Hey, they had a really nice week. They won 2 series. They went 4-2. They went 5-2. But I feel like that's how we've begun the last couple of weeks. Here's what I thought would happen with Brandon Woodruff, okay? Before he got hurt. So if you would have asked me this last week, this is what I would have told you. And I think we've talked about this. Maybe I haven't laid it out clearly, so I'll do it now. But this is what I thought would happen with Brandon Woodruff. He'd come back. He'd make 6 to 8 starts, which is what he did in his first stint at the beginning of the year. And then honestly, I thought he'd miss another 6 weeks or so. And they'd cool it down and he'd rehab. And then they'd target a late September run and hopefully be around for the postseason. I kind of thought that's how this season would go. I think he's very aware of his pitching mortality. And I think it's very important for him to try to be available and to try to have an opportunity to pitch in the postseason. This is what he said back in April when he made his first appearance of the year in the major leagues. He didn't do a minor league rehab start. And this is him talking about why. I've played this cut before, but it so perfectly drives at, I think, the mindset of Brandon Woodruff this season. This is him on March 31st.
If I was going to use bullets, I didn't want to use them in the minor leagues. I was recovering. I'd kind of mentioned that before. And I wanted to be here with the guys. It's a good feeling breaking camp and getting here and just being with everybody. And it was just a good feeling for me. And I really wanted to do that. And, with the pitch count I was at, if I couldn't get through 5 innings, then that's on me.
So the cut, he also talks about, being at the major league level, being back with the major league team and the clubhouse, the dugout. That's really nice, but it's really that first part.
If I was going to use bullets, I didn't want to use them in the minor leagues.
So saying, well, if I'm going to use bullets, I don't want to use them in the minor leagues. If you're saying that, that's an admission that there's a limited number of bullets. Saying, if I'm going to use ammo, if I'm going to use bullets, I want to use them at the major league level. That's Brandon Woodruff directly or indirectly admitting, yeah, I don't know how many bullets I have. I don't know how long my shoulder's going to go. I don't know how long it can last. So if I'm going to pitch and use bullets, I don't want to waste them in games that don't matter. So all the way back again on March 31st of this season, that's a recognition. And I've had that comment circled as I'm very aware of my mortality here. I'm aware that my shoulder might not be able to make it an entire 162 game season. He's been aware of that from the jump. So my thought, again, going into Saturday, if you'd had asked me, Brandon Woodruff was going to make another 6 to 8 starts. He's probably going to have something in that shoulder pop up again. The cyst would come back. The dead arm would come back. He would take time off, and they would be very intentional about setting that timeline up. So when he comes back with another, let's say, clip of limited bullets, to stick with that analogy, they're timed up so he can join the team right before the postseason and hopefully be available for the postseason. Because of all of the great outings and the great seasons that Brandon Woodruff has put together for the Brewers, he hasn't been able to pitch when it matters most. And I think most Brewers fans would agree with me that of all the pitchers on the staff that I'd want in a postseason game, I'd want Woodruff out there, even if he's not throwing 99. And even if he doesn't have the stuff that maybe Corbin Burns did, or even if he isn't as durable as Freddie Peralta historically was, I trust that guy. I trust that pitcher, and I want him in a postseason game. And I think Brandon Woodruff selfishly is like, hey, man, I want to pitch in the postseason. I want this for me. So I didn't know about his long-term outlook. I still don't know about his long-term outlook. But again, if you had asked me last week before he got hurt, I would have said he's going to make another 6 to 8 starts. Something would come up. They'd shut it down, and then they would aim his rehab and his ramp up towards being available for the postseason. Not sure about his long-term outlook, but I think that would have been a good outcome for both the Brewers and for Woodruff if he had gotten injured again and then timed his ramp up and his return for the postseason, and he would have been able to pitch in postseason games. I think in 2026, in the context in this season in a vacuum, that would have been a good outcome for the Brewers to have Woodruff in the postseason. And it would have been a good outcome for Brandon Woodruff, who, long-term, I don't know, he's making $22 million this year. If he has an opportunity to pitch in the postseason, I think personally for him, he'd say, well, that's an improvement on the last couple of seasons. But now I'm not even sure if that's possible. Because before the second injury, before this, I'll call it a setback because it's the same injury he suffered when he went down the first time, 6 to 8 weeks, however long ago that was, I can't even remember. He was able to make 2 full starts. 2. And then he had to leave in the third. That's not 6 to 8 starts, which is kind of what I thought it would be. I know that's really negative. I'm sure some of you thought, well, I thought he'd be available for the rest of the year. Yeah, that would have been great. I just really had a hard time seeing that. I thought he'd make 5, 6, 7, 8 starts and then reset and do it again. Making 2.5 starts, that I think reframes the way we view this thing. I don't know if it changes things for the Brewers or Brandon Woodruff. I'm not sure what the end game is now. I'm not sure where the Brewers and where Brandon Woodruff go from here. In my opinion, I don't think it benefits either party to shut it down. I've seen a lot of Brewers fans on Twitter, and, I listen to sports talk radio, so I see all the comments, and I hear the calls and texts to Bill's show. It's like, just shut it down. Just shut it down. Just call it. It's like, I know that's how you feel in the moment because you're frustrated, but to whose benefit? Who does that help? If Brandon Woodruff can come back and pitch again and pitch well this year, why would he not do that? That would benefit Woodruff. That would benefit the Brewers. I don't think it benefits either party to shut it down. He might as well give it a go. Now, medically, of course, unless he can hurt the shoulder worse or he can damage it long-term or hurt his hopes of ever being like a normal full-time pitcher again. Okay, well, sure. I'm not a doctor, so the doctors would have to tell him that. But if it's the same situation as last time and he's going to shut it down and rehab and come back, well, if there's no long-term damage, and if he's not going to hurt it worse, there's no reason just to shut it down just because you're frustrated. Well, shut it down. This is stupid. Well, I mean, yeah, it's stupid and no one's happy with it, but might as well try to rehab and come back and pitch again. And again, I've seen Brewers fans or just people on Wisconsin Sports Talk today say, well, this makes it clear you can't trust Brandon Woodruff to be healthy. You can't count on him being available. I've seen people saying that. It's like, brother, that's been the case for 2 years now. Like, what do you live in a mushroom house? He hasn't been a reliable full-time pitcher that you can count on for a while. Keeping the door open for him to come back down the line this year doesn't really throw anything out of whack. It doesn't hurt the team. You know what I mean? There are other options, whether it be Logan Henderson, who hopefully is coming back soon, Robert Gasser, Coleman Crow. You'd love for Quinn Priester to be in that mix, but this season wasn't in the cards for Priester either. It's not like they are going to, in my opinion, acquire a new arm to replace him. Some of you might think that they should. Maybe they should. I doubt they will. I don't think it throws anything out of whack, and I don't think it hurts the team or anyone on the roster to have him rehab and try to come back. It makes no sense, in my opinion, for him to shut it down. The real shame in all this, on top of Brandon Woodruff being a great guy, we all love Brandon Woodruff. Yes, that goes without saying, but the real shame of it is you can tell there's a really good pitcher in there still. Like even on Saturday, this is the dark humor in it. Saturday, you almost had to laugh because the last batter that he faced, he was only throwing changeups. He could not muster a fastball from his arm. He was only throwing changeups, but his changeups were at 75 miles an hour, and he was still locating them and getting guys out. He was out there pitching with an arm tied behind his back, and he was still getting guys out. Now, maybe if he's only throwing 75-mile-an-hour changeups, hitters catch on, and it's like facing a position player, right? Like it's a little gimmicky for a hitter or two, and then guys realize, oh, he's only throwing 75-mile-an-hour changeup. So I'm not saying he could have navigated the rest of the game pitching that way, but even limited to one pitch and a really limited version of that limited pitch, right? Changeup with no velocity. He was still landing pitches and missing bats. The shoulder injury that he suffered from, it's one that doesn't have a great return rate. Not a lot of pitchers come back the same. A lot of pitchers don't come back at all. And it's easy to see why. Because if Brandon Woodruff needed to throw 99 to get guys out, he'd be cooked. He wouldn't be able to pitch at the major league level. And now I think so many pitchers in Major League Baseball are optimized, meaning they're throwing absolutely as hard as they can with as much spin as they can because it's stuff. If you can't throw 99 and you can't get a lot of RPMs on the ball, I don't have time for you. We're not rostering a guy who pitches to contact and a guy who throws 91, right? Those days are long gone. So many pitchers are optimized now. And you can imagine if there was a pitcher out there who needs to throw 99 to survive, and then they go through this, well, yeah, they'd be cooked. Now, I'd love for Brandon Woodruff to be able to throw 97, 98, 99, but you can tell even throwing 91, 92 on his fastball, he's still he's a good pitcher. He's not just a thrower. He's a good pitcher. So the dark humor in this is even watching him on Saturday night in that fourth inning, he's got an arm tied behind his back and he's still finding ways to get guys out. Maybe that wouldn't have lasted, and obviously it's not healthy, which is why they went and pulled him. But for a batter or two there, you can still see he's still a pitcher. A little bit from Pat Murphy, kind of stating the obvious. Now, this is more in the short term than the long, but Pat Murphy talking about how they have to rethink their rotation a little bit because Brandon Woodruff is hurt again.
Cyst develops. He's got that tear of the labrum there, and that cyst develops, and it flares up. And it's going to be an IL. We got to build a strategy on how we can, deal with this.
And Pat Murphy, one more on why they still need Brandon Woodruff in the rotation. I want to talk more about this for a couple minutes before we take our first break.
He's had 2 incredible outings to show you how close he is. And again, he'll be back for us.
So I don't know about that last part. I don't know what the long-term play for Woodruff or the Brewers. I don't know if he'll be back. I think if he had made 7, 8, 9 starts and then gotten hurt again, you'd say, okay, well, let's just limp through this year. Let's get him back, see if he can throw one more stretch of games late in the year and in the postseason. Okay, he made it through 2 full starts before needing to shut it down again. They don't need starting pitchers. Now, knock on wood, if nobody else gets hurt, they have enough guys. Gasser's been trending the right direction. Sproat wasn't awesome yesterday, but I think big picture, the line is still trending the right direction. Logan Henderson has been excellent at every turn as a major league pitcher. Coleman Crowe is an option. You might not love it, but he's an option. Drowan has done the job. Chad Patrick can make starts if they need to. They're not running out of starting arms. The luxury of Brandon Woodruff, on top of just being a really good pitcher, of course, you would rather have him than Drowan or Patrick or Crowe or Gasser. Yes. But the real advantage or the real plus to a healthy Brandon Woodruff, he's actually a guy with some experience. He's pitched in playoff games before. He's been in the league a while. The rest of the rotation is Mizorowski in his first full year as a starter. Harrison is basically a rookie. Sproat is basically a rookie. Henderson is basically everyone else is young. Drowan's a rookie. He's starting for the first time. So on top of just being a really good pitcher when he's able to pitch even in a limited fashion, the advantage of Brandon Woodruff, he's your veteran. You want that guy in the mix. And I don't know how they make that happen later this year. He was here for 2 full starts and then he had to shut it down again. If he pitched for a month and a half and had to shut it down again, okay. It's a little different. It's still awkward. It's still not great, but you can work with it and maybe get him back for a run late in the year. I don't know if that's the case now. I'll take your thoughts on this. If you have anything to add, anything from the last week, but especially the weekend of Brewers baseball, 5-2 week, not bad, but still plenty of things to nitpick. The injury to Brandon Woodruff. And I want to talk a little bit about the offense next, but your phone calls, 608-321-1670 to you next.
This is the Wisco Sports Show with Grant Bills on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
The Wisco Sports Show will resume in 3 minutes. The Wisco Sports Show will resume in 2 minutes. Wisco Sports Show will resume in 1 minute. The Wisco Sports Show will resume in 30 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, initially warming up, everything was good. First inning was fine, and then kind of just a slow progression of just, I guess, discomfort's the best word. Kind of similar to what I experienced against them last time at home. So it kind of just got to the point where, I mean, you can kind of just see it, with your eyes that something's not right. So too early to kind of tell, but based off the test, after I came out, it seems like it's very similar to what I experienced before.
That's Brandon Woodruff after the game. He went on the 15-day right away and said, well, it's the same thing. It's the same thing as last time. And I guess I don't know if that's good or bad. You know what I mean? I don't know if that's good or bad. It's better than my elbow has exploded, or I have a broken bone, or a ligament's torn. Like, I suppose there are worse injuries than dead arm or assist. You can drain assist. You can rehab a dead arm. He's done it already. It's very concerning, and this is why I get paid the big bucks. I'm about to share something very cutting edge with you. It's very concerning that the same injury popped back up after only 2+ games. He made 2 complete starts and then had to leave in the third. So I don't know if it's a good thing that it's the same injury. If he had made, again, this is my take, 7, 8, 9 more starts, had to shut it down and rehab and could come back in, September, which is kind of what I figured would happen. That's different. He made 2 full starts and then had to leave. I don't know what the end game now is in 2026. Forget beyond. I don't know what the end game now is in 2026 for the Brewers and Woodruff. I guess try to rehab and see what happens. I'm just very skeptical that, okay, why are you going to come back again and have it be better? I don't know. That would be my question. That's my concern. To your phone call, 608-321-1670. Wisco Sports Show. Who's this?
Hey, Grant. Hope you had a good fourth.
I did. You as well, Cone Roller. Did you?
Yeah, up north of Highway 8, time on the lake, beautiful weather, beautiful people, just good time overall.
Life is great north of 8. That makes me happy to hear, Cone.
Yeah, absolutely. And I kind of think the Brewers have three paths forward with Brandon Woodruff. First pass, shut him down till maybe September, give him a start or two, see how it goes, and then, hopefully he'd be ready for the playoffs. Option 2, can he become a knuckleball pitcher in a short period of time? The late great, still alive, R.A. Dickey, he was born without a UCL, and that's kind of why he developed the knuckleball. So a little different sore spot with these 2 pitchers, but I think that could work. And then third, could he become a high leverage bullpen arm, pitch maybe twice a week?
So the issue, and I've seen people bring up the bullpen thing. I was listening to Todd Rosiak this morning. He was talking about this possibility. He needs more recovery time. So if you're going to dedicate a spot in the bullpen, you kind of need to be able to pitch more often than once or twice a week. That's I think the concerning part about Woodruff. And I don't know, like, is it different for him? Is it easier if he throws 1 inning, 3 times a week instead of 6 innings once a week? I don't know. It's just such a weird injury. If he had made it more than 2.5 starts, I'd feel a little bit more optimistic. I'm just not sure, Cone.
Yeah, just when you hear dead arm, just doesn't sound good.
No.
More than likely, we might have seen the last of Brandon Woodruff, sadly.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, everyone's saying just shut it down for the year. I don't know who that benefits. You know what I mean? Unless, of course, medically he can hurt it worse. And I suppose he could. I'm not a doctor. I'm just going to assume that if they could do the same thing that they've already done, which is shut it down, drain the cyst, rehab, I don't think that hurts anybody. It doesn't hurt the Brewers, doesn't hurt Woodruff to give it another go. I just struggled to see an outcome that's better than this, which is you get 2 starts and then your arm feels like it's going to fall off again.
Yeah, either way, it's not a good situation, but luckily we got another Brandon that continues to help this team win games. They're 4-1 in Sproat's last 5 starts, and that one loss was that Oakland game where he threw an absolute gem. So
that doesn't count.
We got Brandon Sproat at least.
Absolutely, Cone. Anything else before I let you go?
I'm just sitting on the take right now that Sproat, I think by the end of this year, is going to be our bona fide number 2. I think we're due for a Kyle Harrison regression, and Sproat's only getting better and better. So I think Sproat's playoff roster spot, we're at July 7th, 6th.
Yeah.
And I think it's I don't want to say it's a lock yet, but I have the keys in my pocket to lock it.
All right. I like that take. I love by the way, Cone, I appreciate the call. The Kyle Harrison second half regression is a real take. If anyone wants to buy some stock in that take, I think there's maybe some good value in that take. Brandon Sproat ascending, Kyle Harrison descending ? I don't know. I'm still not over him calling him the late great R.A. Dickey. I googled it. The guy's 51. He was pitching. When did his career end? He was pitching into the teens, wasn't he? The 20 teens. When did he? R.A. Dickey sounds like he pitched in 1942. He was pitching in 2017. He was pitching into 2017. The late great R.A. Dickey. Hey, something to consider. I don't know. Is a knuckleball easier or harder on your shoulder? Please, if there are any pitchers, 608-321-1670. Let me know. Let's take another call here. Wisco Sports Show. Who's this?
Grant, it's Coach Freed.
Good evening, Coach Freed. Just the 2 Sproat boys popping up here.
It is, and I kind of want to piggyback off of Cohen's call. There might be a 4th option. Have we considered working him out as a DH? I don't think he could be much worse than Yelich at this point.
So that's I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that. Although Yelich, he was due for a home run. He had a couple pulled back. And PCA did rob one. We were right about a home run in that series. You might be onto something there, Coach Freed. Is hitting harder or easier on your shoulder? I'm not sure. Another thing we can look into.
Yeah. I'm no doctor, but I think at the very least it can't be much worse than what we're trotting out there with 22.
Can he take some walks too?
Yeah, I think he sees the ball pretty well. He's probably got better pop than Yelich at this point in his career.
It doesn't take much. Probably not as much swing and miss. Did he put the bat on the ball? I think that's a half decent idea.
They're all about good swing selections, and I think Woodruff could offer that. Just replace him in the aggregate here.
I don't know what that means. Anything else, Coach?
No, that's all. Glad Giannis is finally gone. You got that farewell. How do you think about that?
So
for your liking.
Yeah. So we're gonna talk about that, Coach. I appreciate it. That's a very important box that has been checked. I'll give you my full Giannis take and play you some of the sound that he posted. Some really good comments after our 4:30 break here. So put a pin in that, Coach. We're about to get there. One more thing on the Brewers, and their continued struggles with runners in scoring position. Before Joey Ortiz's 1-run single yesterday, scoring Gary Sanchez, moving pretty well. They were 2 for their last 49. They were 2 for their last 49 with runners in scoring position going into Joey Ortiz's RBI single yesterday. And I just like to clarify something. Everyone said, well, they're not hitting with runners in scoring position. The offense with runners in scoring position. They're not hitting with runners in scoring position. And I would just like to say, I don't think they're hitting enough, period. I'd like to clarify this. When you say the offense is bad with runners in scoring position, you're implying that the offense, other than that, is good. And I don't think it is. I think offenses that hit well with runners in scoring position are good offenses. And offenses that don't are lesser offenses. I think the Brewers offense right now is a lesser offense. And the lack of production and success with runners in scoring position is it's more just a shortcoming of the offense. Now it's some bad luck too, and it's some bad timing, and hitting with runners in scoring position is a little fluky or subject to, fortune and luck over a long sample. So I'm not saying that it's completely and totally, disconnected from luck. It's not. But their offense as a whole just isn't as good. I looked up some numbers today. I was gobsmacked. Let me use that word. That William Contreras is hitting 273 over the last 14 days. I'm not trying to pick on him. I was shocked. That did not match my eye test. Now, Jackson Churrio's hitting 283 over the last 14 days. But Jackson Churrio is an interesting case study because he's always going to get hits and he's always going to get homers. You saw that homer on Saturday. Like, he's always going to get RBIs and homers and hits. The problem with Jackson Churrio is that half of his at-bats are just going to be they're so bad. I need more consistency at-bat to at-bat, inning to inning with Jackson Churrio. I understand that the big picture numbers, batting average, RBIs, home runs, right, counting stats, they're going to come out pretty good in the wash just because he's so talented. At-bat to at-bat, I just need a little bit more consistency with Jackson Churrio. I need better at-bats. So it's not surprising that his numbers are good, but those numbers really aren't reflective of an at-bat to at-bat, performance with Jackson Churrio. Terang's actually hitting over 300 over the last 14 days. He had 7 hits and 12 at-bats start the Arizona series, and he's taken some of those to left field, which is a great sign, including that big hit in extras on Friday night. So Terang is trending the right way, but there's still, with this offense, way too many quick innings, not nearly enough scoring. I don't need big innings. I just need more runs sprinkled throughout. You should not be getting to the 5th or 6th inning against Merrill Kelly with 0 runs on the board. That guy sucks. And they have not faced a gauntlet of elite pitchers here between the Reds and the Guardians and the Cubs and the Reds again, and now Merrill Kelly and whoever. I don't even remember the other 2 that they faced in Arizona. Like, these are not elite pitchers. So I don't know what the big picture numbers are saying. Again, if you look at just batting average, and that's on me, I'm an idiot and a bonehead and a fossil who still likes looking at batting average. But for a player like Churrio, like, it's still going to look okay, but that's not reflective of every single at-bat. He just hasn't been good enough of a hitter. At-bat in, at-bat out. I don't know how Contreras' numbers are still so good. It's not that he's been awful. It just, they haven't looked that good to me. Terang's trending in the right direction. And Jake Bauers is still hitting out of his mind, luckily, because this team has needed some of those big, clutch hits and that home run yesterday from Bauers. I thought he would have fallen off a cliff by now. He still might. I hope not. But they're needing every run and bit of production that Bauers is giving them. We'll get back to the Brewers at 5 o'clock. We'll get to the Monday mailbag at 5:50, so get your questions in. grantbills21@gmail.com. But coming up next in the meantime, Giannis released a statement and a very nice video, and I think there's some comments in there worth kind of picking at and talking about. So we'll do that next.
This is the Wisco Sports Show. Bills on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Shopping for new windows and doors shouldn't feel like a negotiation. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin doesn't believe in games. They never inflate pricing, and there's no high-pressure sales pitch. Just premium windows and doors built for long-term comfort, beauty, and peace of mind. Buy direct through Pella, and one trusted team handles everything with Pella-certified installers every step of the way. Real pricing, premium quality, no games. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Schedule your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
The Wisco Sports Show will resume in 5 minutes. The Wisco Sports Show will resume in 4 minutes. The Wisco Sports Show will resume in 3 minutes. The Wisco Sports Show will resume in 2 minutes. The Wisco Sports Show will resume in 1 minute. The Wisco Sports Show will resume in 30 seconds.
The city of Milwaukee and the state of Wisconsin. I want them to remember this from me. Don't worry about the basket. Don't worry about the championship. Don't worry about the winnings. Don't worry about the losses. I try to be like them.
We're going to take an iconic selfie video so I can watch it. I can watch for the rest of my life and remember this day. Can we do that? Let's do that. Come on.
I believe the city of Milwaukee is blue collar. It's people that work extremely hard every single day. They give them all the hard-earned money to come watch the Milwaukee Bucks. To come and feel something. To come to be a part of us. I hope that I was able to represent them the best that I could. And I was like them. I showed up to work, did everything that I was willing to do, all the dirty work, just like them.
A little bit from Giannis's farewell video. There's a second half to that. I'll play it in a sec. He also did a little bit of a sit down with Jim Paschke where he talks about his decision to leave Milwaukee. It's pretty interesting. Not surprising. Not surprising that he feels the way that he feels. A little surprising that he said it openly, which I shouldn't tease it. We'll just get to it here in a minute. Talks about how leaving is a risk. I agree. We've talked about that quite a bit. So we'll have a little Giannis sound here as we continue the Wisco Sports Show. I'll take more of your calls here in just a couple minutes. I got some open phone lines if you want to grab them. 608-321-1670, the Monday Mailbag in a little bit more than an hour. So submit your questions if you want to participate. GrantBills21@gmail.com. This is the second half of Giannis's video. I'll just play it just to continue with the first half we just played.
I hope that bringing a trophy to this city meant something to them because it meant so much to me.
Milwaukee, we did it, baby. We did it.
I want you to hear it from my mouth. The city of Milwaukee will always be in my heart. This is my home, and this is a place that I had my kids. My mom is here. My father is here. My brothers played here. They made me the man that I am today. That will never, ever change. No matter where I am, Milwaukee will always be my city, my team, my family.
I want to be NBA player.
With the 15th pick, the Milwaukee Bucks select Giannis Antetokounmpo.
It's funny that David Stearns in that draft, by the way, stumbled through the word select, but then nailed Giannis Antetokounmpo, which I'm always impressed. I know we boo the commissioners, but they always do get the names right, almost without fail, which is that one more impressive than just about any other. The one comment that Giannis made to Jim Paschke, I'll play this next, and then we can take some phone calls on this. We've talked plenty about how it's not as simple sometimes for these superstars to say, okay, I can't win in this place anymore. I'm going to request a trade. I'm going to go elsewhere, right? I'm going to go somewhere where I have a better chance, or somewhere where I can compete, somewhere where I can contend, where a lot of times it doesn't work out. You know, like Kevin Durant went to Golden State. That's a little bit of the outlier. Now, Kevin Durant was also younger, by the way, when he did that than Giannis is now, or Damian Lillard when he got to Milwaukee. A lot of times these players go somewhere and it doesn't really work out, and it's not their team. So it's viewed as a disappointment and a letdown, and the new guy is often blamed. Damian Lillard was blamed more than Giannis for the Bucks' shortcomings these last couple of years. I'm trying to think of another example, but anytime a player joins another established thing and it doesn't work, it's not the established player that gets the heat. It's often the guy who arrives. And there's no shot that just because Giannis goes somewhere else, it's going to be any better than Milwaukee. And he talks about that pretty openly with Jim Paschke here. It's about 90 seconds. It's really good.
Only when I take my showers at night, and I think I'm like, maybe I've waited too long, and I see guys playing deep into the playoffs, and I think I'm like, okay, maybe if I switch teams and I go somewhere else and have a better opportunity, I can play deep in the playoffs. I can go try to chase another championship because I really want that. And I'm scared that maybe if I don't take that decision, that when I'm going to be 37, 38 years old, hopefully, and I'm retiring, I'm going to say, why you didn't take that risk? And people don't understand it's a risk.
It's a difficult place to be.
Yeah.
I would say that you could always come home.
That'll be awesome.
You've earned that. You'll always be welcomed here.
That'll be awesome. That'll be awesome if I can go and play and maybe come back. Kevin Garnett did the same thing. I saw this clip of him walking into the arena, and they gave him a standing ovation, and people till this day love him. And some people don't always feel.
They always will.
Yeah.
You've earned that.
Yeah.
They won't take that away from you.
I love that they brought Jim Paschke back. Mr. Jim. I miss Jim Paschke. No shade on Lisa Byington. But I do miss Jim Paschke. It's interesting to hear Giannis admit to that, because it's totally correct. It's a risk. It's a risk leaving to try to do anything. And that's why I don't necessarily fault Giannis for this. I don't think it's going to go better in Miami. But I'm never going to fault someone for taking a swing and saying, well, this is something I have to try, or if I don't try this, I'm going to regret it. I just think it's really easy in life to just get comfortable. And I think he's going to make a mountain of money, and he's going to be successful and be one of the greatest basketball players of this era and really of all time. I don't know where he's going to end up. So it's not like he's going to go anywhere and fail so brilliantly that we're going to think less of him, I think, or, that he's always going to be an NBA champion and MVP. And so he's not going to lose that. But I'm never going to fault anyone for going to try it. I think I don't know. I think it's a lame way to live life, to just hang out in one spot and say, well, if I go do something else, it might not work. Well, yeah, that's part of life. is trying things when you don't necessarily know how they're going to work. I have really nothing against Giannis. He said goodbye to Milwaukee. The video was very good. He checked that box. I'm good with him. I needed the thank you. We talked about this last week, but now that we got it, 2 thumbs up. I'm not going to hold the loyalty thing against him. He was here for 13 years, won a title, multiple MVPs. Like, you're good, dude. Good luck. I'm not going to cheer for him necessarily. And I want the Bucks to get good picks, and I'm, that whole thing. But no ill will towards Giannis. I thought the goodbye today was good. And the trade officially processing earlier today, first day of the new year. So that's kind of why the timing. I didn't think he had to wait personally, but both sides did. The Bucks posted a statement too. I'll give that to you next, but let's take a call. 608-321-1670, Wisco Sports Show. Who's this?
Man, Giannis, he will always be welcome back, won't he?
Do you think that was too much? Do you think that was overdone by Jim Paschke, Vagabond John?
No, I think it's good. I think as a player of his stature, it would have been crazy if they did nothing like that. You know what I mean? Like he brought a championship to the city of Milwaukee. He's just fake as hell, man. Like he's just Disney. Like, dude, you had a team this year with a little bit of talent, and like you're an all-time great. So like you probably could have made the playoffs if you wanted to play basketball. So all this BS about him wanting to chase a championship, where the hell is he going? Miami? What? That makes no sense.
I'm with you on Miami. Do you think he missed more games than he should have this year? Do you think he dogged it and he didn't want to play? Mentally, I agree he was checked out, and I think he regrets it. He's copped to that. But physically, I mean, what did he play? Like 30 some games? I don't hold that against him necessarily.
Yeah, and who knows, right? Like, was that his choice? Was that the team's choice?
I think at the end it was the team. At the end, I think it was the team's choice. But Vagabond, if he was locked in and dialed in and bought in, maybe they win some more games because the team is more cohesive. So then the team feels better about bringing him back at the end because they're actually, in or near the playoffs. Sure, it could have gone lots of different ways. I don't think Giannis is without any blame or fault for how last season went.
And it's not like Miles Turner is just going to go out and say the things that he came out and said for no reason. You know what I mean? And there's been just this weird aura around him in Milwaukee. So I don't know. His kids got a little older. Off the field stuff can definitely affect. These players are human. And so maybe a refresh is going to do him good. And maybe he's going to turn into a superstar and carry, I almost said Milwaukee, Miami to a championship, and it'd be fun to watch it. I'd tune in, right? But the last couple of years in Milwaukee, the moves that were made, the way he handled, choosing coaches and pushing for the things that he wanted, this organization bent over backward for him, and it blew up into colossal failure. So everybody tried their best here. It's all good, but man, that dude, I don't know. I want to go chase championships, and he ends up in Miami. That doesn't feel good at all. So I don't know. Love the guy. Wish him all the best. I'm with you. Probably won't be rooting too much for the Heat, but hey, everybody seems to be turning around on this Wisconsin AD hire. Have you turned the page too? I haven't listened to that much Wisconsin Sports Talk Radio today, but every tweet out there is like, maybe this was the perfect. Is that just a media blitz working? Every single coach coming out and saying this is the greatest hire of all time. So I don't know, Grant. You had 10 seconds of thoughts on that? That's all I got.
Yeah, thanks, Vagabond. I think part of it is we hate things at first and then we talk ourselves into them. So that's human nature. I don't think that's specific to this hire. I think Jesse made some good points that softened me up a little bit. When Jesse was on last week, and he shared this with Bill on Thursday too, but he's on the show on Wednesdays at 5:30 normally. And he said, well, it's an AD hire. What do you want? You want it to be sexy? You want him to come out in his introductory press conference and do a backflip? Like, okay, yeah, I get it. It's an administrator, so it's not going to be sexy. He does check all the boxes. Really what this hire is going to come down to is how does this year go in football, and then what does Eichhorst do about it? Everything else, like the non-revenue sports have all been succeeding. And Chris McIntosh actually, I think, was a pretty big net positive on the non-revenue sports. But no one's going to care about women's basketball or even men's hockey. Sorry, the majority of folks won't if the football program gets back to what it was 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago. That's how he's going to be judged. So he could be the biggest bonehead in the world. But if they can Luke Fickell this year and he makes a good hire and the football team starts winning again, it won't matter. It won't matter. Or he could be the best athletic director in the world and he makes one wrong hire like he did at Nebraska, and that's the only thing that he's going to be known for. That's the only way we'll judge him. I'll give you another Giannis thought on the other side, a little follow-up to the thing that Vagabond John closed with. Giannis kind of getting his way and the organization bending backwards for him. the last couple of years. I'll give you a thought on that. And a United States soccer thought going into tonight's final, or what was this? Is this round of 16, I believe? Yes, I believe it's round of 16 against Belgium. Sorry for not knowing. Both of those things coming up next before we close hour one.
This is the Wisco Sports Show with Grant Bills on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
The Wisco Sports Show will resume in 3 minutes. The Wisco Sports Show will resume in 2 minutes. The Wisco Sports Show will resume in 1 minute. The Wisco Sports Show will resume in 30 seconds.
I see guys playing deep into the playoffs, and I think I'm like, okay, maybe if I switch teams and I go somewhere else and have a better opportunity, I can play deep in the playoffs. I can go try to chase another championship because I really want that. And I'm scared that maybe if I don't take that decision, that when I'm going to be 37, 38 years old, hopefully, and I'm retiring, I'm going to say, why you didn't take that risk? You know, and people don't understand it's a risk.
It's a difficult place to be.
Yeah.
I would say that you could always come home.
One more time, that exchange, Giannis and Jim Paschke. I read that as, hey, when you're done playing, you're always welcome back in Milwaukee. You're always welcome to come back and live here. You're always welcome to. You're never going to be without a home. I didn't hear that as, hey man, you can always come back and play for the Bucks. Although maybe. I heard that as, hey, you'll always be home here. If you feel like down the road you want to move back here, you want to come back and live out your life in Milwaukee. Obviously, sign a 1 day to retire, that kind of thing. I didn't take that as, hey, when this contract is up, you can always come back and play here. That's not how I took it. Although I guess never say never. I don't fault Giannis for going to Miami. I don't really fault him for anything. The last couple of years didn't go well. I think Giannis played a part in that. It was not all him. He played a part in that. I think lots of parties had some missteps. Giannis was no different. They had a bunch of cracks at it. They broke through once and won a title. They had other opportunities derailed by injury or bad luck or bad decisions. I'm a Milwaukee Bucks fan. I can live with one singular title and a great player who had one of the crazier runs and one of the craziest finals performances you'll ever see to win it in Game 6. I'm good with that. And if Giannis now wants to go somewhere else and try it, not going to hold it against him. Now, if Giannis is solely championship focused, you can look at Miami and question that and say, well, is that really the best place? Okay, sure, we can nitpick that. I also think part of Giannis is like, I need to go somewhere else and try something else, someplace else. And that's a very human thing. And I'm fine with that. I have no problem with that. Today, the goodbye went a long way for me. Needed that. Needed a video, needed a statement. The Bucks posted one as well. That's a box checked. If he had said nothing, if there was no thank you, if there was no video, then I'd think differently. But that box is checked today. Big soccer game tonight, the United States and Belgium. Balogun's able to play. Thanks to, some sneaky rule bending by the powers that be. I'll take it. It's not like college football where, hey, this guy got a targeting penalty. He's going to miss this game in the next one. That can happen in a big moment, like Xavier Lucas. I was talking with Zach earlier today, missed part of the national championship game. So it can happen in big games. But in college football, if you get stuck with a bad luck targeting penalty and miss a game, okay, so you miss a half against Purdue or a half against Michigan State, that's fine. The tricky part about the World Cup to me is like, wait, so this thing happens once every 4 years. And on a video-assisted replay red card that wasn't even called a penalty on the field, a guy's going to miss a game in the final. Like, this is the biggest soccer game maybe in the United States history. And it just didn't sit right with me. Now, that's the rule, so I'm not telling you that they should change the rule or fundamentally change the sport. That's the rule. Thumbs the brakes, but I'm not going to complain that some people in powerful positions were like, okay, but we can we can fix this, right? Like, is anyone really going to be that mad? Oh, the people in Belgium are going to be angry. Okay. You know what I mean? So I'm fine with it. My take on the World Cup so far, it is my continued take, my developing take every time I watch a game, is that it's so impressive to me, it's amazing to me that we expect all of these games to be awesome, and all of them have been awesome. I screenshotted Patrick Doherty's take about this. He said, genuinely nothing better in sports than a game supernovaing after everyone expected it to supernova. It's like March Madness, right? Where you turn on March Madness, I expect buzzer beaters, I expect incredible moments, I expect incredible drama, and you get it. I think this World Cup is batting a higher batting average than March Madness, meaning these games are delivering with a consistency that you don't even see in March Madness. And that's the tournament that sets the standard for, hey, every time you turn a game on, you're going to see something incredible and amazing, and it's going to blow your mind, and you couldn't predict it even if you tried. Like, that's been this World Cup. Do you know how hard it is where it's like, oh, Erling Haaland's playing, they're playing Brazil tonight. No way, I can't wait to watch Erling Haaland. And it's better than you thought it would be. Or England versus Mexico in Mexico City last night. You turn it on thinking, oh, I think this is going to be a great game. And then it's better than you thought it was going to be. Like, these games just keep delivering. It's really hard. It's a hard thing. A game and a match or a sport that consistently lives up to its reputation and expectations. And this World Cup has done it. So if nothing else, even if you're not a hardcore soccer fan, and I'm not, you're just like, hey man, I want to turn it on and see the spectacle and experience it. This World Cup has been everything and then some. So that'll continue tonight. Balogun will be able to play. Thankful for a little, backdoor dealings between powerful people. Maybe President Trump, who knows? Hour number 2 next.
This is a Wisconsin Sports Zone update.
Well, the Brewers are in St. Louis. It's where they're going to open up a series against the Cardinals tonight. Milwaukee does so in the wake of losing pitcher Brandon Woodruff again, placed on the 15-day.
In a couple months since I've had the injection, so
I honestly, I don't know much more than that other than talk to the doctor, get Meister involved, and then go from there. And then we'll just take the next steps as they come. I don't really have anything other, forecasted past that.
Woodruff heads to the IL with Milwaukee sitting 6 games up on Chicago, first place in the NL Central, owning the second best record in the majors. Cardinals 7.5 games back at the Crew coming into the series tonight. Milwaukee will send Shane Drohan to the mound. He's 3-2 with a 3.12 ERA. His last 2 starts gave up 2 runs combined over 10 innings. Dustin May will go for the Cards. He comes in 5-6 with a 4.80 ERA. Struggled his last 2 starts, including not making it out of the first inning against Atlanta when he was tagged for 5 runs. First pitch tonight set for 6:45.
Everyone should feel confident about their path forward. Exact Sciences helps eradicate cancer by preventing it, detecting it earlier, and guiding personalized treatment. They continue to help patients and healthcare providers make timely, informed decisions before, during, and after a cancer diagnosis by partnering with the industry's best minds and top institutions to transform how to approach cancer. Known for Cologuard and Oncotype DX, allow Exact Sciences to help make a positive impact in your health path forward. Learn more at exactsciences.com.
Well, the U.S. men's national team will look for its first trip to the quarterfinals of the World Cup since 2002 tonight when they take on Belgium in Seattle. And the Bucks going to continue summer league play as they face off against Sacramento tonight with tip at 9. With this Wisconsin Sports Zone Network update, I'm Zach Kyle. Print.
And this is going to be a start where if he's going to continue to get these guys out, assuming the velocity stays kind of where it is on his heaters, he's going to have to pitch with that off-speed stuff, and it's working.
And he struck him out. Another changeup. He did not throw a fastball, and here comes Chris Hook, and he's going to go out with Brad Epstein.
Your heart breaks for Brandon Woodruff. Obviously unable to throw a fastball here in this inning.
And he's going to come out of this game. Again, just monitoring the velocities for Brandon Woodruff over the course of his last couple of innings. It just was trending in a direction that you didn't want to see.
Your mind wonders and your heart breaks.
Yeah, proud of our guys. They battled to the very end. That's it's disappointing, but at the same time, more concerning just with Woody going down.
This is where Wisconsin gathers to talk sports. Packers, Brewers, Badgers, Bucks. The Wisco Sports Show is on the air. Now, here's your host, Grant Bills.
Hour number 2, we can reset with some Brewers talk. The biggest story of the weekend, Brandon Woodruff injured again with the same thing. Already back on the IL, his words, it's the same thing. It's the dead arm, it's the cyst, it's the exact same thing that happened last time, interestingly enough, also against Arizona. How's that for balance? The show tonight presented by Road America. RoadAmerica.com. They're America's National Park of Speed. Lots of events throughout the summer, the super bikes, the Indy cars, or something more low-key during the week, a driving school or a sunset cruise. Or maybe you just go there to see the place. I don't need the crowds. I don't need a huge event. I want to see one of Wisconsin's great spectacles. Certainly worth the trip just for that alone, to explore the park and to hike around. You can see the great camping accommodations that they have available as well. RoadAmerica.com and their event schedule. So you can pick out exactly when and where you want to go and reserve camping. Reserve it. If you're camping, if you're bringing an RV, reserve that early because, you want to make sure you can get a spot with power, with water, all those things. And those spots run out. They don't run out of space because it's a huge park, but they do run out of camping hookups. So if you know when you're going and for what you're going, you can find that on the events calendar. Reserve camping right away. Just a word from the wise. RoadAmerica.com, America's National Park of Speed. We'll reset with some Brandon Woodruff talk. Also continue to take your thoughts on Giannis. He posted a nice statement, a nice video, as did the Bucks, and I'll give you that in a second, but that's on the table as well. Your phone calls to begin hour number 2, 608-321-1670. Wisco Sports Show. Who's this? Hello? Line number 1? Hello?
Am I on?
Yes, sir.
Oh, hey, Grant, it's Mad Max. Sorry, I didn't hear the buzz. I didn't hear the buzz. I don't know if I hit a dead zone or ever, but
sorry, Mad Max.
Didn't think that was me.
Yeah, how's it going?
Yep, good. Yeah, just had a good long weekend. It went way too fast. I don't know how you felt, but I was on the golf course Friday morning, and I'm just like, hey, life is good. We got a whole long weekend ahead of me, but then before I know it, it's Sunday night. It's Sunday afternoon. I'm just drinking a beer by the pool, and I'm just like, then the Sunday scaries kind of hit, and now we're through Monday just like that.
And now we're back on Sports Talk Radio again, like we just left Feels like we just left on Thursday night of last week. I'm with you there, but it sounds like you spent it well. Golf course, pool, it's hard to beat.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was at a pool party on Friday night too, on the 3rd. And I kind of felt like you did at that wedding where I was at a very nice home in a very nice neighborhood. And I was just thinking the whole time, I'm just like, yeah, there are definitely 2 Americas, perhaps 3 or 4, but it was a really great time. I mean, and we were watching I think it was the Argentina Cape Verde game too.
Mm-hmm.
And that was one of the best soccer games I've ever watched. And I'm not a soccer guy at all, but I feel like I've been more interested in the sport the last couple of weeks than I ever have, because like you said, just the storylines have been really compelling. The games have been really compelling. I mean, I was watching England-Mexico pretty much the whole game last night too. And I was just zoned in the whole time too. And I never thought I would say these words, but tonight I think I'm going to be paying more attention to the soccer game than the Brewers game. That's something I never thought I would do.
Well,
but,
luckily for us, the Brewers have 7 games in 6 days or something. So we're not running out of Brewers baseball anytime soon. Is the doubleheader tomorrow? I believe it's tomorrow.
It is.
So
yeah, doubleheaders tomorrow.
We'll have surplus baseball. I think I'm going to be keyed in more on the soccer game as well. And I also think it helps that, it's in Seattle. The crowd is going to be bananas. So that's another thing. Like some of these games, part of me wanted to tune in and I didn't want to miss any of last night's game between England and Mexico just because of where the game was. You put a game in an environment like that and it makes me want to lock in. Whereas I think a lot of, big events, big college football playoff games, okay, it's in Jerry World. It's in it. Like there's not as much character there. There's not as much juice there. Some of these games are in locations where it's like, I want to see that. I want to feel that and be a part of that experience.
Yeah, Seattle's definitely the right location to have a game like that. And I'll be paying attention to the Brewers too. I'm trying to finalize some plans with a few buddies just to go to the bar. So I'm sure the Brewers will be on the side TV, but soccer will be front and center with the sound on. So looking forward to it. Hope the Brewers can keep it going too and just have a good week before the All-Star break. It sucks about Woodruff. I mean, but you have to expect it. I mean, I'm sure the organization knew that he likely wasn't going to make it through the whole year. And at least we have other guys like Sproat that have been stepping up. Just my only gripe with Sproat is that he just has to be more efficient.
Yeah.
I mean, throwing like 100 pitches in 4 innings just isn't going to cut it, especially with the bullpen being as overworked as they have been. So hopefully he continues to learn how to pitch at the big league level and just keep showing progress in the second half, because we're going to need guys like him to step it up.
Just keep trending in the right direction with Sproat. I agree, Mad Max. I appreciate the call. Enjoy the game tonight.
Yep. Thanks, Grant.
Mad Max in the Racine Tunnels. It's incredible how little length they got out of their starters this weekend. Like Sproat, I get it. Woodruff got hurt, but Harrison, like most recently him too. It's like, okay, someone needs to go deeper into a ball game. And it's funny, for all the belly aching the Brewers fans do, and I'm part of this, about the bullpen was kind of awesome throughout the entire, like, let's just go game through game here. Oh, the bullpen sucks. They need bullpen help. Okay, so Chad Patrick, 3 1/3 scoreless. Aaron Ashby, inning scoreless. Uribe, inning scoreless. McGill, inning scoreless. Grant Anderson gave up a run, but that was an extras. Okay, that was Friday night's game after Kyle Harrison went 2 2/3. Oh, the bullpen sucks. The bullpen sucks. The bullpen sucks. Well, I don't know. We're pretty good on Friday night. Saturday, oh, the bullpen sucks. The bullpen sucks. The Brewers lose 4-1. The bullpen gave up 1 run because 3 of those were off the home run that Woodruff gave up. Craig Yoho, don't look now. Craig Yoho, 2 2/3 scoreless. Jared Koenig, I don't know what Koenig is yet. I don't know what they think of him. I don't know what their goal is there. I don't know what that's going to be. But the bullpen on Saturday night giving 1 run up in, what would that be? 2 2/3 plus 1 2/3. That would be 4 innings. Am I reading that correctly? 4 and 4 plus, you know what I mean? Through the middle of the 4th to the end of the game, they gave up 1 run. Oh, the bullpen sucks. The bullpen sucks. They need bullpen help. And by the way, I think they do need bullpen help. But the results do not match the reality. Yesterday, Brandon Sproat goes 4 innings. Grant Anderson, 1 2/3 scoreless. Rom, 3rd scoreless. Aaron Ashby gave up 2 hits and 1 run, made a little bit of a mess, got out of it. Uribe, 1 2/3 inning scoreless. McGill inning scoreless. Here's the thing that would help the bullpen. if they could get to the point, and maybe this is more of a starter issue than a bullpen issue, if they could get to the point where Uribe is coming into a clean inning, Ashby's coming into a clean inning, McGill has been coming into a clean inning in the ninth. I feel like a lot with Ashby, it's a third, 1 1/3, 2 1/3. Uribe, 1 2/3. If you could just get these guys into clean situations, I think they'd be more successful. But my point, again, remains, we talk about how bad this bullpen is and how they don't have any guys that you can trust, and they need bullpen help. They kind of held the line big time over this weekend. This team's pitching their ass off, and they've gotten very little length out of their starting rotation and their starting pitchers. So tonight, that's probably box number 1 that this team needs to check. And I don't know if Drowan's the guy to do it. I think the last 2 starts, I've looked at him and thought, okay, didn't have his best stuff today, but gutted through 4 innings. They're going to need better than a starter gutting through a couple of innings tonight. They're going to need a little bit more length. Just to reset some thoughts from Pat Murphy. Pat Murphy on Saturday night talking about Brandon Woodruff exiting with the trainer, just kind of giving the state of the union or the state of what's going on with Brandon Woodruff.
They give us 14 outs. 14 outs, pretty impressive.
Was he dealing with it all night, or did it kind of flare up?
No, I think he dealt with it from the beginning. You saw the first pitch of the game was 86 or 87 or something like that. Yeah.
Was it the velocity that prompted the visit? Did he blow you guys out?
No, after his grimace after the pitch on the changeup. He said the changeup bothers him a little bit when he does it. So that's what he wanted to. When we saw that, even though it was a punch out. I think he'd punched 3 in a row out. But yeah, it's really unfortunate. He's a huge part of our organization, huge part of our team this year, huge part of the team last year. He just has an unbelievable presence and does whatever he can to help people. And he's a great pitcher. So he's had 2 incredible outings to show you how close he is. And again, he'll be back for us.
I think that's the dark humor, the thing that really has to hurt. I mean, it's funny to me, but it's funny in a dark way. It was like even Brandon Woodruff on Saturday night with a raw, numb arm. Can't throw fastballs. He can muster changeups at 75 miles an hour. And he still managed to get a couple of guys because he's locating those changeups. It's like, Jesus, man. Even with 1 arm and 1 pitch tied behind his back, he's still enough of a pitcher to get guys out. There's still an elite pitcher in there because he's a pitcher. So many guys in Major League Baseball are throwers. I think Sproat is a thrower at times. I think Mizorowski a lot of times last year is a thrower. Unbelievable stuff. Velocity, spin rate, that thing. It's like, well, don't really need to locate it. Don't really need to be able to pitch. Just got to throw and get it near the zone. And that's still true to a degree of Mizorowski. Although Contreras challenges that because Contreras loves to call for, the lesser effective pitches to challenge Mizorowski in some of those spots, I guess. Or I don't know. Maybe he's just pushing buttons on the pitch com. I don't know. Maybe he doesn't understand how the pitch com works. We talked about that with Contreras last week. Brandon Woodruff is a pitcher. There's a reason that shoulder injury, that surgery kind of dooms a lot of pitchers. First, a lot of guys just aren't able to come back from it physically. Second, a lot of the guys that do, they lose so much velocity and they lose so much oomph on their ball. Well, so many pitchers now are relying on 98, 95 mile an hour, 95, 96, 97. And a lot of guys, if they can't do that, they can't pitch because it's not 2011 where Chris Carpenter's throwing 91, 92, navigate 5, 6, 7 innings. Like guys, they don't exist. Those guys don't exist anymore. I guess Quintana did last year. I don't remember what his velocity was at. He would probably be a more modern version of that, at least in recent history on the Brewers starting pitching staff. But so many guys now are reliant on throwing gas, max effort fastballs, max spin breaking balls. Well, if you take a couple miles per hour off, they're porked because they've never had to be pitchers. They've just been throwers, never had to be pitcher. Brandon Woodruff is a pitcher, man. So I thought that the plan with Woodruff, here's what I thought would happen. And I said this back at 4:00. I'll share it again. I thought he'd come back, make 6 to 8 more starts, somewhere in there, just like he did the first time. And then his arm would tire out, and they'd shut him down, and they'd rehab him, and they'd do so really strategically so he would be ready for a late September push. Can we get another 6 to 8 starts the very end of the regular season and into the wild card round or the NLDS, something like that. Not ideal, but I think the best case scenario for both team and player in this season. Pitch in the games that matter most, which is what the Brewers would want, and I think what Brandon Woodruff wants. I think he's been aware from the beginning of the year that there's a clock on my shoulder. It's shaky. We're not sure if it can make it the distance. So I'm going to train myself, and I'm going to shape my rehab and to shape everything this year with the main focus being on how can I pitch in late September and into October. So, yes, it is not ideal that Brandon Woodruff, in theory, would shut down 2 times in the middle of the year and then rehab it to come back. But them's the breaks, right? And if you have to do it that way, you want to do it for the games that matter. That's a best case scenario for both Woodruff and the Brewers. I'm not sure that they can even do that now. He came back and was able to complete 2 outings. That was it. So I know I see Brewers people on Twitter and on other talk shows saying, well, just shut him down until September. Okay, and then what? He comes back and he makes a start or 2, and then he has to get shut down again? Like, I don't know that that's enough. So you ramp him up to make 1 regular season start, and then you're going to roll him out there in an NLDS game? What if his arm goes dead in the 2nd inning? And then he's on the postseason roster, and you're having a fire drill in the middle of a postseason game because your starter can't feel his shoulder in the 2nd inning, and now you got to bring in a bullpen guy who's not ready and throw your entire plan out of whack. This situation is not just as simple as, we'll shut him down until September. Yeah, I think that was already the plan when things were kind of going well. I think that was going to happen. Now things aren't going. Now his arm gave out again, and really not after that many starts. He pitched 2 full outings, and then it happened again. So I don't know what the end game is now for either, the franchise or the player. I think it's worth it to try to rehab. Well, they should just shut it down. To what end? You might as well try it. It's not hurting anyone. It's not hurting the team. It's not throwing anything out of whack. I don't know even what the best case scenario is. And if the best case scenario is good enough for him to make meaningful starts for any meaningful duration in games that matter in September and October, which I think has always been his goal. 608-321-1670. Let's take one more call here before our break. Wisco Sports Show. Who's this?
Dean.
Hey, Dean, what's going on?
So, yeah, I think on that qualifying offer they made to Woodruff, it was some kind of a hometown, hey, we're loyal to you, and here's a contract offer, that sort of thing. But when you do those qualifying offers, it used to be a lot more common because the qualifying offer threshold was much lower. You're essentially only doing that if you do not expect the guy to take it, because if anybody's not going to take that offer, then you can just wait and not go through that process and then get it probably for much less for the normal contract that you would sign, and probably for more than a 1-year deal. So we went into that just essentially throw out an offer that I don't think they expected him to take.
Agreed.
And it would have been much better from the Brewers' perspective if they had not done that, and then he wouldn't have gotten picked up someplace else, and they could have gotten him for a 2-3-year deal. And if he went somewhere else, then fine. But, we're paying right now this premium amount for his return season. It's almost like Tommy John's with Corbin Burns, where they're not entirely lost on Corbin Burns yet in Arizona, and it's only relevant because we just played them. But, he's not back until September, and so they can decide to just shut him down until next year and have this be kind of like the rehab year, the J.J. McCarthy, 2nd year after his injury kind of deal. I just think we paid such a premium for this first year of Woodruff to see if he's going to come back, better or the same or whatever. And yeah, we were way overpaying for that just because of that qualifying offer business.
Yeah, appreciate it, Dean. Always a good call. And I haven't talked about a lot about the contract because I don't really care. I don't really care. What are you going to do? I think had they not extended the qualifying offer to Brandon Woodruff and he went somewhere else, it's well, how could you cheap out on a guy who's a great Brewer? I think the Brewers were probably in a no-win situation. And I'm with Dean. I don't think they expected Woodruff to take it. And I'll also add, I don't think they extend that offer to someone not named Brandon Woodruff. If it was another pitcher named, Bronson Williams. I don't think they extend that. I don't think they extend the qualifying offer. I think Brandon Woodruff means that much to this team. He wanted to be here. The Brewers wanted him to be here. I'm not as familiar as you are, Dean, with all the machinations of the qualifying offer. I don't think the Brewers expected him to take it. I don't think they would have extended it to any other player. I would agree with your point, and I'll add a point of my own. I don't keep myself up at night worrying about the money that they're paying to Brandon Woodruff this year. It's not my money. So I saw Q in the chat in the first half of the show saying, well, it was a waste and it was a dumb signing. It's like, okay, but I'm not just trying to like shoot down every take. It is a waste of money. It has been a waste of money. But like, don't we complain that the owner's cheap? Okay, well, he's paying $22 million to keep a fan favorite around and a great voice in the locker room and probably one of the great Brewers of this era. I don't know, man. It's not my money. I'm not mad about it. Now, hopefully that 22 that's allocated to Brandon Woodruff doesn't prevent them from, doing something this season they would otherwise. But they're not a team that adds a bunch at the deadline. I don't think they've ever been a team under Matt Arnold that takes on guys at the deadline other than like a Danny Jansen type, which I think Matt Arnold will look back at last year and say, what was that for? I won't do that again. And he shouldn't do that again. That was dumb. You know what I mean? Try to get marginally better at a position that doesn't really even matter all that much at the expense of the clubhouse. Everyone loved Eric Haas. So like, what did we get? 1% better at a position that didn't matter because they didn't play him anyways. So I think Matt Arnold will look back and tell you that marginal moves, and it's my opinion too, that marginal moves are dumb. Going to get Daniel Norris and costing yourself Reese Olson, that was dumb. Going to get Danny Jansen, pissing off the clubhouse, all to replace Eric Haas to get 1 or 2% better, that was dumb. This isn't a team historically that does stuff at the deadline. So whatever, $22 million to Brandon Woodruff, I don't know. That part of it doesn't bother me, but it is an interesting undercurrent to all of this, for sure. I don't think it's changing the way either party operates. It makes me feel better that Brandon Woodruff, who at this point probably isn't set up to get a long-term big-time contract that his career would deserve, has $22 million in the bank this year. I like that just on a human level. Doesn't matter for the team, doesn't matter for the talk show really, other than just the human level. Take a break. More of your calls. By the way, submit your questions. The Monday Mailbag coming up at 5:50. Grant Bilse, BILSE 21 at gmail.com.
This is the Wisco Sports Show with Grant Bilse on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
The Wisco Sports Show will resume in 3 minutes. The Wisco Sports Show will resume in 2 minutes. The Wisco Sports Show will resume in 1 minute. The Wisco Sports Show will resume in 30 seconds.
Woodruff had 2 solid starts prior to this since coming off the injured list. And tonight gave up the 3-run home run in the first inning, but the velo started to drop, and the trainer came out and got him in the 4th inning and finished off Woodruff's night. Boy, you could have such an awesome front 3 in this rotation with Mizorowski, Harrison, and Woodruff. If Woodruff, it's been a tough 2 years. And yeah, that $22 million that they spent on him for this year, it's looking like a bad signing. Not any fault of him at all. You just can't stay healthy.
Chuck Freeman, Locked On Brewers podcast, his reaction on Saturday. You do think about the front end of the rotation. Man, if you could have Mizorowski, Harrison, Woodruff. Although, interesting take from Cone Roller in hour number 1. Is Sproat trending up and Harrison trending down? We will be on regression watch with Kyle Harrison. More of your calls here. I have a little bit more. Giannis reaction. I want to pick over what the Bucks said. They released a long statement. Doesn't seem like John Horst is going to do a press conference, which I hate. We'll talk about that. But like I said, more of your phone calls on the Brewers or whatever else. Wisco Sports Show. Who's this?
Grant. Hey, Tony from Texas.
Hey,
actually
Tony.
in Vegas. I've got a couple of things I want to say. First of all, Brandon Woodruff, he's kind of like the whipped cream or the sprinkles at a sundae shop or something. He's not the ice cream. Like if I have the whipped cream, if I have the sprinkles, that's cool. I like it. It's good, but I don't need it. Okay. I don't need to have Brandon Woodruff to win. It's just an extra bonus. So
well, look, the team's not going to fall apart. They have other starting pitchers. Right. I would certainly prefer it. I would like to have the sprinkles. Maybe the Woodruff is more the hot fudge for me. Sprinkles are
good one.
Sprinkles are like, the sprinkles almost kind of suck. The hot fudge can really take a great bowl of ice cream. Like Tony, you could have a great bowl of ice cream or a cone without any hot fudge. But the hot fudge, I would say more hot fudge. I think he's better than sprinkles.
Yeah, that's a great take. Hey, Grant. I'm a Whitnell Falcon, and I'm probably the 5th most famous Whitnell Falcon. I'm kind of glad the most famous Whitnell Falcon's coming back home. I really am.
What are the other 4 in order? Have you thought about this?
Oh, yeah, I have actually thought about this. Okay, Joel Stave.
Okay, yeah.
There's actually a lady. This is for like the women out there. There's an OC housewife from one of those Bravo shows. She's a former Playboy Playmate, I might add. She's a former Whitnell Falcon.
Oh, your graduating class?
No. It's I think 70s. She was married to an MLB player.
Oh.
I forgot who the 4th one is, but I know I'm in the top 5 to 10.
Okay, all right. Well, that's a good range. If you can be in your high school's top 5 to 10, that's a good number. I would agree with that.
I think for popularity or fame, people know, Tony from Texas. They know the name.
Do they? Okay. Keep going. Keep going.
Hey, Grant, I got to say this though about the Bucks. First of all, they didn't handle this the best the last couple of years. If you're going to trade the guy, trade the guy. And okay. I know Giannis was hemming and hawing and stuff like that. I would have just traded him. At the end of the day, I'm going to quote Giannis. At the end of the day, it is just a business. And you know this, Grant, as we get older, we mature, you, me, whoever, you realize this is just a business. And it's all it is, really.
They are assets at the end of the day. Look at the Jaylen Brown situation. It's not just a player. They have an age. They have a contract, right? They have a career arc where their value might be going up or down. So that is true. I would push back a little, Tony, in that I think Giannis in Milwaukee is one of those situations where it is a little bit more than business. I think there's another thing at play there in a way where maybe a different franchise and a different player, it's not quite the same. So I agree that it is a business. Yes. I think in Milwaukee with Giannis, that situation a little bit more nuanced, and I can understand why maybe they held on a year longer than maybe some teams would. Right?
Yeah, I agree. Hey, Grant, really quick, work related. It's kind of Packer related too. I just found out Chris McClellan. I'm his uncle's boss, the guy that the Packers drafted from Mizzou.
His uncle's boss at your company where you work.
Yeah, where I work. You know me as a successful AAU coach, but that's not my day job. I have a day job. But yeah, his uncle's giving me the scoop and everything. The Packers love him. They say he's doing great. He's
they drafted him. I should hope they love him. I mean,
well, you never know.
That's good info, though. Well, what else? Keep it coming. Sorry to interrupt.
And the last one is I just got a work trip to Pittsburgh. Packers, Steelers. I hope they play Rodgers in preseason. It's in mid-August. that'd be nice to see Rodgers one last time. Just even if it's preseason, just have him lace it up and go out there and throw a couple of bombs, just for old sakes.
Just uncork a couple. I like that, Tony. Well, I appreciate. Hey, did you have a good 4th?
Had a great 4th.
Good.
It's hot down in Texas. It's not really lake thing, like a lake. We all go to the lake in Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm.
It's more about hang out by the pool and get hammered and that kind of thing.
Find some attractive ladies to hang around. Oh yeah, little eye candy, arm candy, maybe even. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Grant. Speaking of that, I'm in Vegas. It's a work trip, so I got to behave myself. But
sure,
I am not at the Lisa Vanderpump Hotel. I was hoping they'd put us in there, but they're not.
Which does she have her own hotel? I thought it was just a restaurant in. I feel like I remember seeing signs for the pump in, was it the Venetian? I can't remember.
Yeah, hey, by the way, if we're going to get into weeds here, Ariana swimsuit walkway. Did you see that, Grant? Can you tell me anything about
Ariana Maddox?
Yes, check it out. Check it out when you got time.
I did not. I'll raise you another. Did you see James Kennedy got married?
No way.
Yeah. I can't remember her name. I just follow him on Instagram. He seems like he's doing well.
My favorite character from that show.
Same. I relate to him strongly. I also feel like there have been other times where he's been doing well, and then all of a sudden he wasn't doing well. Her name's Jordan Myers. Oh, no, not married. They're engaged. Sorry, engaged to be specific.
Well, I think sometimes we're our own worst enemy. We can't get out of our own way.
I relate strongly. Have you watched Vanderpumped?
I have, sadly.
Not
I have,
good.
and I've not been impressed. I would recommend those that are into the Vanderpump thing is watch The Valley.
Okay.
It's pretty good.
Okay.
Watch The Valley.
I have Ariana Maddox sakes. Tony, I appreciate it.
Thanks, Grant.
We'll talk more reality soon. This is a good time of year for an extended talk with Tony in Texas. He is wise on many things. I felt bad, with the whole Scandival situation, although it was some of the greatest reality TV ever created. I feel like Ariana is doing pretty good. She hosts Love Island, right? It's like it's like the biggest reality TV show going right now. I feel like she came out ahead. Where's Tom Sandoval? What's Tom Sandoval up to? Touring with his band? His crappy ass band? With respect. Anybody who gets on a stage and plays instruments is, But yeah, James Kennedy is engaged, not married. I just saw engagement photos. Okay, that's your reality TV update. Thank you, Tony in Texas. A couple more thoughts on Giannis. Statements being posted by both sides today. I'll give you the Bucks 2 cents and what John Horst said coming up next. And don't forget the Monday Mailbag, 20 minutes, grantbills21, gmail.com.
This is the Wisco Sports Show with Grant Bills on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Shopping for new windows and doors shouldn't feel like in the high-pressure sales pitch. Just premium windows and doors built for long-term comfort, beauty, and peace of mind. Buy direct through Pella, and one trusted team handles everything with Pella-certified installers every step of the way. Real pricing, premium quality, no games. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Schedule your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
The Wisco Sports Show will resume in 5 minutes. The Wisco Sports Show will resume in 4 minutes. The Wisco Sports Show will resume in 3 minutes. The Wisco Sports Show will resume in 2 minutes. The Wisco Sports Show will resume in 1 minute. The Wisco Sports Show will resume in 30 seconds.
The city of Milwaukee and the state of Wisconsin, I want them to remember this from me. Don't worry about the basket. Don't worry about the championship. Don't worry about the winnings. Don't worry about the losses. I try to be like them.
We're gonna take an iconic selfie video so I can watch it. I can watch for the rest of my life and remember this day. Can we do that? Let's do that. Come on.
I believe the city of Milwaukee is blue collar. It's people that work extremely hard every single day. They give them all the hard-earned money to come watch the Milwaukee Bucks, to come and feel something, to come to be a part of us. I hope that I was able to represent them the best that I could, and I was like them. I showed up to work, did everything that I was willing to do, all the dirty work, just like them.
A little bit from Giannis in his farewell video. Posted a video today. The Bucks posting some stuff. An interview that he did with Paschke. It was interesting. It's PR from both sides. Remember, it's not just Giannis on the way out the door trying to, placate Bucks fans and not be the villain, but it's also the franchise just traded away maybe the best Buck in history. You say, well, Lou Alcindor, yeah, but that was like a little different, and that was a long time ago. That guy didn't play here as long. Apples and oranges. I said maybe the best Buck in history. So both sides are doing some PR. It's understandable. It's necessary. If you're like, well, I see through okay, that's fine. I think it's important messaging and important massaging. And it was interesting to hear Giannis talk with Paschke about, hey, it's a risk. It's not easy. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, and I don't know if he said exactly this, but I'll paraphrase. He said, when I'm 40 years old and I'm retired, I don't want to look back and think, well, maybe I should have done this or maybe I should have done that, which I can respect. So I don't really hold anything against Giannis. It maybe could have gone better, a little bit better here the last few years, and Giannis was a part of that. They could have won another championship maybe at some point. I'm also not somebody who's like, they should have won more. They should have won more. I don't know. Maybe it makes me a loser. I'm a Bucks fan. They got one, and it was pretty darn special and pretty great. So I'm not going to lose my mind over it. This is what the Bucks posted today. A statement from John Horst. Can I get my reading music, please? Hold on. This is a long statement. And if we're going to read through it, I need my reading music. Just give me a sec. Sorry. First day on the job, producer here. Hold on. Thank you. All right, here we go. Reading music, like I said. Dear Bucks fans, there are few players in the history of professional sports who have elevated a franchise, a city, and a fan base the way that Giannis did for the Milwaukee Bucks. Giannis arrived in Milwaukee from Greece as an 18-year-old with exceptional potential, relentless determination, and an unwavering belief in what could be achieved. In his next 13 seasons, he became one of the greatest players in basketball history, the heart of our organization, and the driving force behind an extraordinary era of Bucks basketball that will always be honored. Together, we experienced moments that will forever live in franchise history, punctuated by the 2021 NBA championship. We celebrated as Giannis earned 2 MVP awards, a Defensive Player of the Year award, a Finals MVP, and delivered one of the greatest championship-clinching performances in NBA history with 50 points, 14 rebounds, and 5 blocks in Game 6 of the Finals. Just as importantly, we watched Giannis embrace Milwaukee as his home and forge a connection with Bucks fans that transcended basketball. He became an ambassador for the city, for our city around the world, and a source of pride for the entire state. Through his generosity, authenticity, and commitment to helping others, he touched lives throughout our community and inspired people across generations. On behalf of our entire organization, please join us in expressing our deepest gratitude to Giannis and his family. This decision is in the best interest of both the Bucks and Giannis. I understand the emotions in this news, and I share them. I'm confident that our path forward provides a strong foundation for sustained success. That's a funny buzzword. As we begin the next chapter of Bucks basketball, we do so with optimism, purpose, and a clear vision to build on our standard of excellence while strengthening our competitive identity and winning culture under the leadership of our new head coach, Taylor Jenkins. To all of you, our great fans, thank you for your unwavering passion and support. Our purpose remains unchanged to once again hold and build a championship caliber team that makes Milwaukee proud for years to come. Sincerely, John Horst. So I stumbled a word or two, so that wasn't exactly verbatim, but you get the gist. I would like John Horst to do a press conference. I would like for John Horst to do a press conference. In fact, earlier today, I was watching a little bit of Brad Stevens taking questions from the assembled media over his trade of Jaylen Brown. I just think it's important in sports for people in positions of power to hold press conferences and to answer questions about the moves they make. And I said this of Ed Policy when they made the decision to extend both Matt LaFleur and Brian Gutekunst. Okay, you're the man in charge. Previous to 2018, it wasn't that way. The general manager had full run of the football mill, run of the mill. Hire and fire the coach, make all the decisions. And in 2018, remember, Mark Murphy reorganized that. Everyone's going to report straight to him. When they transitioned from Mark Murphy to Ed Policy, a lot of people thought, okay, they're going to go back to the way that it was. And I kind of wish they would, but whatever. They didn't. So Ed Policy is the one making all the decisions. And if that's the way it's going to go, and you are the one pulling the trigger on extending or firing the coach, especially the way the season ended, I would like for you to address the assembled media, and not just in a curated and typed statement that the graphic designers chalked up and posted on social media, although you can do that too. I would like you to face questions to the assembled media. I think it's important. I think it's important for reporters to go in there with specific questions and get information and to get stuff on the record. I think it best serves the fans. Now, maybe I'm old-fashioned. Sure. But I would like John Horst to do a press conference. It would seem in the Bucks statement today that they will not be doing a press conference. I'd also, not just on the trading of Giannis, but I'd like information about the players that have been acquired. What do you like about these guys? What do you. This is the press release on the trade from the Bucks, including a statement from ownership. The Bucks acquired Tyler Hero, Khalil Ware, Jaime Jaquez Jr., Kasparis Yakashonis, excuse me, the 13th pick in the 2026 NBA draft, which the Bucks used to select Nate Ahmet. Okay, blah, 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 blah. From delivering a championship to transforming our franchise, Giannis's impact on the Milwaukee Bucks is lasting and profound, said Bucks owners Wes Eden, Jimmy and D. Haslam, and Jamie Dinan. That's clunky. Governors, by the way. We are incredibly grateful for what has been a remarkable and historic journey together. For 13 seasons, Giannis gave everything to I already read that in the statement. I don't need that again. I would like a press conference where John Horst answers questions about the process they used to trade Giannis, the thought process in bringing back players like Jaquez and Yakashonis and Ware. I would like all of that. But I don't think we're going to get it. So I guess I can just yell about that. Jim Ozarski will be on with Bill one more time this week. I don't know if it'll be tomorrow. Just to kind of put a recap on everything. It's been a busy couple of weeks for Ozarski and Name and all those guys. I guess I would like a press conference with questions, and I would like it to be live streamed. And I don't know. I like when fans get that access through reporters and through the coverage that they choose to consume. That's it. I would like a press conference. Call me old fashioned. And Tony in Texas called in and talked about this a little bit over the break. I understand why they kept Giannis as long as they did. I know a lot of Bucks fans said they waited too long. I think if they waited any longer than this, they would have waited too long. Based on what we know and what's been reported, Giannis really became unhappy last summer and wanted out last summer, which we knew. But just to reiterate, the Bucks made one final push. We'll stretch and waive Dame. We'll bring in Miles Turner. Is that enough for you to? And that was enough for him to at least not publicly demand a trade and come back and play this year. I think that was a worthwhile endeavor for the Bucks. It didn't work. I think it was worthwhile. I think that was worth a shot. So really, they overextended one more year. Would they have gotten anything that much better? Like, for example, if they traded him to the Heat last summer, would they have gotten anything more? They got 3 first-round picks and their last 3 first-round picks, Khalil Ware, Jaquez, and Yakashonis. Were they going to get something else? Maybe more teams get involved, and maybe they trade him elsewhere, but I don't think they were getting more significantly more. Maybe they get some seconds, maybe they get an extra swap, but I don't think it would have been enough to, not try for one more year. So I'm perfectly fine with the timing of it all. And I think you judge an organization and a team in a city like Milwaukee and the Bucks a little differently than you would the Lakers or the Knicks. One player significant, can mean that much more and can be that much more significant to a team and to a city like this in ways, and they can in different cities and different franchises. So I think it's fine. The Monday Mailbag coming up next. You still have time to submit your questions. So if there's anything you want discussed, I have a couple of items from the weekend and some programming notes for the rest of the week. I'm going on a little adventure Wednesday night in Madison. There's a band in town. I need to share this with you. We'll discuss that next. And your questions, grantbills21@gmail.com.
This is the Wisco Sports Show with Grant Bills on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
The Wisco Sports Show will resume in 3 minutes. The Wisco Sports Show will resume in 2 minutes. The Wisco Sports Show will resume in 1 minute. The Wisco Sports Show will resume in 30 seconds.
Because the mail never stops. Charles, I've been writing to you.
Ah, She's Got Mail. That's the name of the movie.
That's it, honey. There's never a let-up. It's relentless. Every day it piles up more and more and more, and you got to get it up. And the more you get out, the more it keeps coming in.
The Monday Mailbag, all questions, all topics on the table for your consideration or for the show's consideration. I don't know what I'm saying. All things considered. Submit your question, grantbills21@gmail.com. The first question in the mailbag comes from Tyler in Massachusetts, loyal question asker, and it's regarding Fish the band coming to, I clarify because we talk a lot about fishing, it seems, in this segment. So the band, PH Fish. It says, what's your favorite Fish song? And what song do you want to hear jammed for 25 to 35 minutes on Wednesday? I am going to Fish on Wednesday, which means I will not be live on Wednesday. Apologies. It's summer. Things are slow. I have vacation days. What do you want? Some friends are coming to town. They're going to Fish. And I said, I will meet you. I will take you around middle of the week, slow time of the year. All right. I will go. So I will not be live on Wednesday, which I'm not ashamed of. I also have to share I will not be live on Friday because I'm going up north. And then also next Friday, I have a wedding. Fine. Yell at me. I have the days. I'm good at rationing my vacation days. And it's a slow time of year. So get off my back. What Fish song? I don't like that many Fish songs, Tyler. I don't even really like Fish, but it should be a good time. If you're asking me what Fish song I would like to hear jammed for 25 to 35 minutes, I would say none, because I think that's too long for any song to be jammed. Even the songs I like by other bands, because I don't like Fish. Fish sucks. That doesn't mean they're bad, but they suck. We've talked about this before. They suck, but they're not bad. I just don't like that many Fish songs because I don't really like Fish because they suck, but that doesn't mean they're bad. This makes sense if you listen to Fish. People are listening. They're like, yeah, he's spot on. I like Sneakin' Sally, but if they jammed it for 25 minutes, then it would ruin it. Divided Sky, maybe. I don't know. I don't know that many Fish deep cuts. I was talking to one of my friends who's going yesterday. They just want to hear Farmhouse. We're simple people. Okay. I'm also trying to figure out where I suggest, because these people are coming from out of town, and I told them I'd show them around town. But I don't know where to go because my first instinct is to go to Willie Street, but it's in the middle of the day on a Wednesday. And last time I went out on Willie Street, which was like 2 weeks ago, I got there at 7 p.m. and I was disappointed. Let me tell you, folks of Madison, disappointed. Very poor showing. Now, it was a Thursday, but I thought this was Wisconsin. What, I'm supposed to wait until 10 o'clock to go out on Willie Street? Is that when when do the people show up on Willie Street? I was disappointed. So, Tyler, to answer your question, what song would I want to hear jammed out for 20 to 35 minutes? None. That would ruin them. And I like jams. I don't like Fish. Fish sucks. Doesn't mean they're bad. Again, it makes sense. Lee in Westby. Canada getting dump trucked by Morocco 3-0 after booing our national anthem. And their coach claiming we are still the better team. I would rather be us than them was the perfect ending to a day. Golf, PBR, and fireworks. I saw that you cut your fingertip this weekend. I was wondering how much this affects your guitar play. And if you know, they sell this thing called a garlic press, which doesn't involve a knife. Thanks, love the show. I was cutting garlic, and I do have a band on my thumb. I got it pretty good. Here's the problem. I watch a lot of Food Network, and then I get in the kitchen, and I think I'm Bobby Flay, who's my idol, and I start chopping too fast, and I'm not paying attention because I'm listening to the Brewer game in my earbuds, and Brandon Sproat's down in the count 3-0 again. Then all of a sudden, I cut a tip off my thumb. So, yes, I know they make a thing called a garlic press. But I watch too much Food Network and have too much pride hubris to buy one. Also, what I'm supposed to buy a billion kitchen implements? What I should do is just buy minced garlic in a jar. But again, I watch too much Food Network. You just lose so much flavor, you know. Then again, I'd still have an intact thumb. This is gonna be a pain in the ass for like a month. This is gonna be so. This comes, by the way, this happened like 2 weeks after I burned the ever-living hell out of my hand on the handle of a pan that I forgot was in the oven. So I'm having a normal one. I should just take Bill's advice and order cousin subs for dinner more often. That's what I should do. But again, I watch too much Food Network, so what can you say? So that's the extent. 4th of July was great, by the way. Excellent time spent in and around the water. Did some swimming in a lake. Did some putting around on a boat. Drinking beer. I also think as a society, we need an unwritten rule to stop fireworks at a certain time. Now, Saturday night was different because there was a thunderstorm. So the fireworks that I was watching started like a little bit before dusk, and then this big storm hit and everything paused, and then everyone had all these fireworks and like, well, we got to shoot them off. So when the storm ended, they started shooting off again. So I'll give you a grace period there. Way too many people just getting to midnight, after midnight. It's like, you guys, I get it. It's fun to blow things up. I mean, I don't get it. I don't enjoy shooting off fireworks. If someone else is going to shoot them off and I can watch, I will. I understand that some of you enjoy blowing up fireworks. Let's 10:30, 10:45, 11. Let's try to wrap that up. Okay. I don't know. Just a word from the wise. Anyways, I'm going to go home now and watch the United States play Belgium and feel national pride rushing through my veins. I'm also going to change the Band-Aid on my thumb because this one's getting kind of nasty. I showered with it on this morning and I shouldn't have, and I didn't change it. So that's on the docket for me tonight. I will not be cooking, so I'll be here in one piece tomorrow. But programming note, I will be off Wednesday and Friday. Oh, never miss a Friday show. That was always a fish joke. That was a fish reference because it's never miss a Sunday show. And I never should have started saying that because, again, I don't even like fish, but I'm going Wednesday. It's not easy. You guys think it's easy. It's very difficult being me. Also, I have gas because there was free birthday cake in the break room and I ate too much. Thank you for listening. Have a good night. I'll talk